There's one thing I hate more than anything on these old pickups, and it's not the lack of horsepower or the horrible gas mileage. If you've ever worked on Toyota pickup suspensions, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the Torsion Bars. Welcome back to Project Steel Beans. Today we're replacing the upper control arms. Sounds easy on paper, but there's just one problem. They're mounted to the torsion bars, which after being installed for almost 30 years, are almost impossible to remove due to them being absolute bastards. Now, torsion bars are a type of spring used on a vehicle suspension. It basically works just like a coil spring, absorbing impacts and bumps from the road and setting the ride height. I'm not sure how these things are made, but I imagine they torture a poor innocent coil spring, pounding and pulling it mercilessly until it's turned into a rod. That rod can then slide into your control arm and makes your life absolutely miserable when you try to pull it out, because most of the time, torsion bars are rusted in place and won't budge without a brutal amount of persuasion, and these are no exception. It was so bad, I had to stop filming to get the driver's side torsion bar out, which took me almost an entire day. But after a few hours and a couple outbursts of foul language, the driver's side torsion bar came out. So now, I can focus on the passenger side, which according to the guys on the Yoda Tech forum, should be, and I quote, easier. Alright, now before removing the torsion bar, we need to set some match marks on both the torque arm and anchor arm. That'll help us with reinstalling the torsion bar later. You'll also need to measure the bolt protrusion on the adjusting bolt before removal. We'll need that measurement to set the ride height after reinstalling everything. To make the extraction a little easier, I'm pushing up the lower control arm slightly, just to release any tension the torsion bar is still under. Remove the anchor arm adjusting bolt. Replace these if they're damaged or rusted. I'll link a replacement in the description. Now, I haven't seen any reliable way of removing these things, so if you have a bulletproof strategy of your own, put them in the comments. For now, I'm gonna have to MacGruber my way through this, using any means at my disposal, like using this massive pipe wrench to grip the torsion bar and smashing the out of it with a hammer, multiple times, for an hour. Now with the torsion bar out, we can focus on the upper control arm. First, remove the nut holding the ball joint to the steering knuckle. Now grab a pickle fork and go to town on the upper ball joint. Now we can finally remove the upper control arm. It's pretty simple. Just 3 bolts hold it in place. Use some PB Blaster and a breaker bar to get them out. And if one of them gives you a problem, just use a cheater bar. Boom. Easy day. Clean up the gunk and debris from the upper control arm mounting surface. And really make sure to inhale those vapors from the brake cleaner. Just joking, don't do that. Now you have 2 options. You can replace the bushings on the control arm, or you can buy a brand new unit. I don't have the tool to remove and replace the bushings, and according to the videos I've seen, it's a lot more trouble than it's worth. So I opted for this brand new unit from NAPA Auto Parts, which includes a new ball joint with a control arm. And we'll torque them down to 111 foot-pounds. The torque for the nut holding the ball joint to the steering knuckle is 105 foot-pounds. But since I don't have a torque wrench that can fit in here, we're just gonna make it, as the Germans say, gut und tight. And after that, we can install the BILSTEIN shocks. These are designed as an upgrade to the OE shocks, and are tuned for this truck specifically. However, they're not designed for lifted applications, so you'll have to use different shocks if you're running a lift. Now throw some moly-based grease onto the torsion bar threads. You want to note where the torsion key is and which side houses the torque arm. And that's because the torsion bar ends are different, and the torque arm has to be installed on the correct side. Otherwise, it'll be impossible to install the torsion bar back into the truck. And if I have to say the word torsion bar one more time, I'm gonna have a brain aneurysm. Now reinstall the adjustment bolt assembly. Tighten it down until the bolt protrusion matches what you recorded before you took it out. And look at that, we've installed the torsion bar. Now we can focus on reinstalling the sway bar. And after that, I'm going to the bar. The sway bar is pretty straightforward. Have a buddy help you lift it into position and tighten the 4 bolts that mount it to the frame. We're finally finished with the front end. And bear in mind, this is 3 days worth of work. I'm tired, dirty, and I think I'm experiencing some mild heat exhaustion. But we're only halfway done, because now, I gotta focus on the rear. First, remove the parking brake cable from the drum brake assemblies. Now remove the rear shock. Bash it with a mallet if it gives you any problems. Put the rear axle on jack stands and remove the leaf spring U-bolts. Now grab your breaker bar and unfasten the leaf spring bolt. You may need to get a bit creative removing it, as it can be very difficult to loosen. As you can see, it didn't give me a problem. If it does, you hit the gym, cause you ain't stonk like me, bro. Now if the bolt gets stuck in the leaf spring, here's a little tip I learned from Chris Fix a while back. Grab a crowbar and pry it against the leaf spring assembly while loosening the bolt. Once it gives you enough space, put the crowbar under the bolt and pry it up as you loosen it. Boom. Easy day. Now unbolt the rear shackle and remove the old leaf spring from its mount. So instead of getting the very expensive Toyota Leafs, I opted for a pair of these from Husky Spring. They're way cheaper and just as good as OE. You can find these for a good price on Rock Auto. Grease the shackles and the leaf spring bolt. Keep in mind the leaf spring has a front and rear end. There should be a sticker or engraving indicating which direction to install it. Now reinstall the new U-bolts. remember, the parking brake cable goes above the leaf spring. Now we can install the new rear shock. The other side of the suspension is basically the same. Follow the Toyota service manual and you shouldn't have any hiccups. One thing I forgot to film was settling the suspension. With the new suspension installed, put the truck on the ground, with tires on obviously, hop into the bed and jump up and down a few times. This should settle the suspension for final tightening, and you should go back after about 50 miles of driving to re-torque everything again. We're on the home stretch now, but we're running down to the wire here. I'm burning daylight and the shop's set to close in about an hour. I just got to perform a final check of all my work before reinstalling the tires and dropping the truck. It's been about 2 weeks since I've installed everything, and all the new parts are holding up exceptionally well. Since my tires were so worn out, I went ahead and purchased a new set of Falcon Wild Peak AT4Ws to complete the rebuild. These are the upgrade to the popular AT3Ws. They're highly capable off-road, but still quiet on the highway. Perfect for what I need as a daily driver. They're mounted on old but genuine Toyota rims, which I had purchased a while back, and had powder coated in silver metallic. One thing you hardcore Toyota fans will notice is that these have a -15 offset, rather than the -8 offset on most Toyota rims, and I believe it's because these are off an older 4Runner model. The small increase in offset makes the wheels and tires extend past the wheel wells a bit, which in my opinion looks perfect, and complements the stance of the truck now. There were some problems I hadn't been aware of with my suspension. When I went to my local shop to get the truck aligned and the torsion bars adjusted, they discovered that the driver's side torsion bar was in fact bent, which explains why I had so much trouble removing and installing it. Since I had replaced everything else, I went ahead and purchased a new set of torsion bars from ARB, which the shop was happy enough to install for me. They also replaced my steering box, which I had rebuilt myself and planned on installing, but due to time constraints, I wasn't able to mount it while at the workshop. After some adjustments, the truck rides like new. It's stiffer, but not so much that it's uncomfortable, and will likely soften up as it breaks in over time. And that, guys, is an entire rebuild of a Toyota pickup steering and suspension system. This was a formidable challenge for me. After almost a week of grueling hard work and more than $2,000 worth of parts and hard labor, along with some blood, sweat, and maybe some beers, the truck has another lease on life. Wow. Fuck my life. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, feel free to smash that like button. And while you're at it, why not subscribe so you can stay tuned for more Project Steel Beans. I'll see you guys again in another shop real soon. Adios until next time. Later.